I didn't do my bed. Please don't look at the back. It's messy. Just like me. Hi everyone and welcome to this new video. I have been reading the same book for this whole month. A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab is not hitting right. Like, I can't get through it. I'm 150 pages in and I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it. Literally just that I'm bored. I'm just bored when I'm reading it. So I was thinking, you know, if I want to take a break from it, what else do I want to read? Maybe I just need something quick and short to, I don't know, freshen my mind up. Luckily, I have this beauty just laying around. This is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, which is the third book in the Folk of the Air series, and I have read the first two books. Obviously, I wouldn't be reading this otherwise. I have rant reviews for both The Wicked King and The Cruel Prince up on my channel. I don't like this series. I really don't fuck with it. I think it gets way too much hype and people don't like hearing it, but I have to stick to what I believe, and I will. I thought it would be fun to make a reading vlog of me reading a book that I know I'm gonna be really mad at, because I get really annoyed by Jude, and I don't like Carden. I think they're both kind of dumb. I'm sorry. All I know about this is that Carden turns into a snake, so that's fun, I guess. Anticipated and jaw-dropping finale. Well, we'll see if my jaw drops when I'm reading this. I'm also getting my hair done later tonight, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity to, you know, show off my new hair when it's still fresh tonight. So yeah, you know, before I talk about The Cruel Prince, I had my hairdresser's appointment and I just think it's really important to talk about it. So this is my hair before. I'm going to turn around and show you. Oh no, girl, what is that? Did you see how wretched that looked? Like, I didn't know it looked like that from the back, because when do you look at your hair from the back? I never do. So here I'm showing you my blonde strands. I did dye them myself, yes, because funny enough, I have not been to the hairdressers in 3 years, and the last time I went, oh my god, my Oikawa background just popped up for the first time. It is so pretty, but he's right at my fells. I think I need a new one. Anyway, that's not the topic of today. Yeah, I'm brushing my hair, and I haven't been to the hairdresser in 3 years, and the last time I went, I dyed my hair. I got like a balayage, I don't know how you say it, but this is me like kind of reconsidering. Oh, ich will nicht. Oh, ich mag die Dinge voll. Yeah, I kind of like the length, you know, but it was really damaged. So this is me in town, just walking through town, kind of awkward. I don't know. And this is my feet, and I was kind of insecure about recording them because, look at my thighs. They're thunderous. Anyway, so I liked it at a hairdresser's, you know, who doesn't? So this is me back at home, like, later, and every time I go to the hairdresser's, I get a head massage. Oh my god, imagine they just massage my hair. I wouldn't feel anything. Anyway, it wasn't as good as always, and this is me kind of being shook because I did quite like it, you know. I don't know, I kind of feel like when you have shorter hair, you just look more adult, or I feel like I look more adult. I don't know, but it's really healthy. I can't stop touching it. It's so soft, and I just wish that I like had the ability to make it feel like that when I was home. But yeah, look at that smile. I don't know what I just said. Oh, I think someone just farted downstairs. That's why I made that face. Anyway, I like it. Do you like it? I marked a couple of things, so let me talk about them right up the start, right? Okay, so get to see Jude in her normal life in the mortal world. She's not in fairy anymore, and she's miserable. And listen, no one mentions to her that she could just pardon herself because she's the crown, which is something that I see like a lot, that people say, oh, Jude is such a dumb bitch for this. She was exiled, and she has to be pardoned by the crown to return to fairy. She is the queen, she is the crown, she could pardon herself, and it's not just her being a dumb bitch and not realizing it, but everyone around her, because they keep talking about it. Also her brother could pardon her. Isn't he part of the crown too, because he's also an heir? Anyway, so Oak is playing with some children and she's watching him, and first of all, she holds him in a chokehold and he almost passes out to teach him a lesson. So I was like, okay girl, chill. I'm gonna read this out to you. I'm gonna read this out. This is on page 8, you know, that's how mad I am. Still, I watch, and so I notice when Oak uses glamour, which that just doesn't sound right. Using glamour, it would be better if she said using a glamour. I just thought like it was a thing, a glamour. Just using, he uses glamour sounds like, it's kind of weird, you know. He does it unconsciously, I think. He's sneaking towards the other kids, but then there's a stretch with no easy cover. He keeps on toward them, and even though he's in plain sight, they don't seem to notice. Closer and closer, with the kids still not looking his way. And when he jumps at them, stick swinging, they shrike with wholly authentic surprise. He was invisible! He was using glamour. As we have mentioned, you know, the paragraph before that. I don't know why she repeats herself. And I, geese against being deceived by it, didn't notice until it was done. The other children just think he was clever or lucky. Only I know how careless it was. Tell me about it. How is it careless? You know, nothing happened, sis. Like, just let him glamour himself. If they notice, you're just gonna erase their memories. I don't know like, why she's so pressed. Like, I know how dangerous it is to glamour. He's so stupid. This child is 8 years old. Let him live. Next thing that happens, we find out that Jude, you know, she isn't part of the mortal world, so she doesn't have a job there. She doesn't have a social security number. She does these jobs for a random dude. I don't really care for him. And he pays her just, you know, cash for them. I was so bothered by this because she said she got to the meeting spot with a bike, and it's like a really whack-ass bike. Why don't you just glamour a leaf and use it as a bike? Literally, why isn't magic your answer to everything? Because that would be my answer to everything. She's complaining about her study-ass bike when her sister could literally like give her the best bike ever if she asked for it. She's complaining about not being able to pay rent when her sister could just fake the money. And that's it. You know, why is she so pressed about it? Maybe because she's such an honest person. But I don't buy that. And then, this line, as I come closer, he withdraws a watch from one pocket and peers at it with an exaggerated frown. Oh, am I late? I ask. Sorry, I'm used to telling time by the slant of the moonlight. Huh? So you're telling me people in Fairy don't have watches? That seems like really tiring and really exhausting. Just get a watch, girl. What's their problem? What's Fairy's problem? They're like, oh my god, what time is it? The moonlight is hitting, you know, your ass just right. It's 9:30. I hate this girl, right? Because she's such a Mary Sue and people don't realize it. But you can't tell me that this shit is true. She goes on this fucking job. I don't really know what she has to do, but I don't really know what she has to do. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't really care. She has to meet with someone called Grimamog. Grimamog. How do you say it? Grimamog? Grimamog? Whatever, I don't care. And she goes, what the hell is she doing here? And then Jude tells us, Grimamog is the fearsome general of the Court of Teeth in the north. Just thinking about facing her, I break out in a cold sweat. I can't fight her. And I don't think I have a good chance of tricking her either. Then tell me why you fight her and you win? This is a fearsome fairy general. Probably like decades old. And you win. In a sparring match against her. What? Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Then she gets back home and Taryn is there, her twin sister. And first, Jude is like, what the fuck are you doing here? Get the fuck out. Get out. And Taryn is like, I can't. I killed my husband, Locke. And everyone's like, damn, sis, chill. And the two of them talk. And Taryn says this. About the night before my wedding, you were late. And when you came, you were quiet and pale. Sick. I worried it was because you still loved him. But Vivi insists that isn't true. She says you got hurt. Locke tried to kill Jude in that night, and Jude never told her sister. And then her sister married Locke. And then Taryn goes, why didn't you say something? Why did you let me marry him? As if he didn't fuck your sister? As if he didn't fuck Jude, almost didn't fuck, but as if he didn't almost fuck Jude to test your loyalty? and then you still married him? Girl, like, you're the fucked up one. Why are you blaming Jude for this? Why did you marry him? You knew he was a bad guy. These people have really, like, weird standards for their men. Taryn killed Locke because Taryn is pregnant and she told him, and he was like, aborted. I don't know what he said, but apparently it didn't go well. And she stabbed him in the throat and he died. And then she put his body, like, in the ocean and it got washed up again. And now obviously everyone's accusing her, because why wouldn't they? So the only real, like, the only person that could have potentially killed him, the only real, like, potential subject in this investigation is Taryn, right? Because everyone's like, you killed him, so you have to come to the prince, to Carden, and he's gonna interview you, and he's gonna put a geese on you, or a magic thing, I don't know the terms, and then he's gonna ask you, and you can't lie, and you have to tell him the truth. No one is, like, keeping watch on her. No one is like, oh, maybe she's gonna go and get her sister, like, for help, who's exiled. We're not gonna keep an eye on her. And so obviously she comes to the mortal world, to Jude, and she's like, oh, Jude, you can't be glamour. Glamour is the word, not geese. I'm so smart. You can't be glamour, Jude. Can you please go in my place? No one will notice. Yeah, anyway, she does it because she's like, you know what, I don't have anything else to do, so fuck it. But again, why did no one keep an eye on Taryn so she didn't escape? Anyway, everyone in this book is dumb as fuck. I haven't met a single smart person. So Jude agrees, and the night before she goes, she has a nightmare. In that nightmare, Carden is talking shit about her. And he goes, wait a second. But your beauty will fade. The smooth skin will wrinkle and spot. It will become as thin as cobwebs. We hate spiders. These breasts will droop. I know you were talking about my wrinkly skin, but do you have to come for my saggy tits? Apparently Holy Black thought I'm gonna, like, make a really fucking smart metaphor. She was like, yes, this is gonna slap. And everyone who read this, every editor and agent was like, yes, we know exactly what you're talking about. Oh my god. Oh, Taryn is saying this in her dream. They were only, I'm sorry, they were only ever going to let one of us survive. It was always going to be me. You're the sister who spits out toads and snakes. I'm the sister who spits out rubies and diamonds. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I really don't. Oh. Huh? Right now, where I left off, Jude is in Fairy, and she pretended to be Taryn, and then Cotton was like, oh, I don't believe that you don't, like, have something to protect you from Glamis, so to test that, I'm gonna take you to my rooms and, like, undress you. And it made me think of that one song. 1 + 2, I'm gonna undress you. I don't know how it continues, but I listened to that earlier with my boyfriend in the car, so I had to think of that. That was really fun.
2 + 2, I'm gonna undress you. Then we gonna go 3 and 3, you gonna undress me. Then
Carden was like, Jude, I know it's you. And Jude was like, how could you know it was me? Carden, I'm such a good actress. I'm so smart. How could you know? I don't know, girl. Maybe because you're not that smart. Right now, she's being kidnapped by her dad. By her foster dad, who killed her family, which I'm still not over that. Someone tell me why I'm halfway through this book and Carden still has not turned into a snake. I don't know if I want to keep reading if he's not going to turn into a fucking snake soon. I mean, that's the main reason I'm reading this book. Maybe Carden doesn't turn into a snake. Maybe I misunderstood something, but if he doesn't, I'll write a fanfiction where he does. And he's just a snake, like, forever. And then he has to rule as a snake. Speaking snake. Maybe he can't even speak. I'll figure something out. I have my PC on, so I have a little bit more light in my face, because if I turn it off, it will be kind of dark. I have now read up to chapter, I don't know, 16. Carden has yet to turn into a snake. I am highly anticipating the moment he does. Of course, I'm bothered. I'll tell you why. And after Jude gets captured, kidnapped by her own family, they bring her to a camp and they go camping. A little camping trip, you know, in the snow. Not that fun, honestly, in the snow. I wouldn't fuck with it, but she doesn't have much of a choice. And obviously she has to pretend to be her sister. And so she's doing that. And she wakes up. Her stepmom is like, here, have some soup. And this bitch goes, I take a sip and abruptly feel less dizzy. I don't believe that. You mean to tell me you feel immediately better after you have just one sip of soup? I mean, okay. I don't think it works like that. Maybe it's magical soup. And when she's awake, you know, her stepmom is like, you should take a bath. You are kind of stinky. So let me quote her. You can have a bath, Oriana says, indicating a copper tub and in another corner half filled with snow. Oh, I didn't even read that. The tub is filled with snow? I skipped over that. I only read the dialogue. We place a metal bar on the fire, then plunge it into the melt, and everything heats up swiftly enough. Why aren't you just using your magic? They have magic. I have no idea how the magic works. And they can't even heat up a bath? That seems like whack-ass magic to me. I don't know. I don't know about you. So then she's like, I have to find a way to get out of this camping. Like, I don't want to be here. I shouldn't be here. And she's telling her stepmom, hey, I'm gonna go out. Like, I'm gonna go to the blacksmith. And her stepmom is like, you must be careful of him. And Jude remembers all the many cautions over the years that she has received from her stepmom. You know, she's watching out for them because they're human and they can be glamored easily, whatever, they need to stay safe. Then Jude thinks to herself, before she was Maddox's wife, she was hiking Eldred's lover and saw another of his lovers and her dear friend poisoned. And that's why she's so cautious, that's why she thinks it's important. And Jude thinks about all this, how it's really important, like it's important to stay safe. And then she finishes this paragraph with the line, but it's still annoying. I don't even know what to say about that, but it's still annoying. She's completely invalidating the fact that her stepmom's best friend got poisoned. Because it's annoying. This woman is just trying to look out for you and you're annoyed by it. I mean, you really are a shitty person. She goes out and she meets with the blacksmith and she also finds a cave and she's like, oh my god, there must be something in that cave. I'm gonna check it out. She walks past the cave and someone is screaming in there. And so instead of saying, you know what, fuck that, like I'm not gonna get into that because I want to get the fuck out, like that could be anyone in that cave, she thinks to herself, let's go into the cave and check out who it is. Turns out it's the ghost who betrayed her in the last book, and he tells her something about, oh my god, Locke and your father know my true name and they can command me to do anything for them, which I didn't know that was a concept because that wasn't mentioned before this book, so this is completely new to me. And she just believes him. She just believes him. She's like, oh my god, yes, you betrayed me, you made me suffer horrible torture, but you know what, I'm gonna get you out of here. Like, girl, what the fuck? She needs a key, and so she's like, okay, wait here, like I'll get you out tomorrow. And by the way, she got into this cave there were 3 guards in front, and she climbed the top of the cave, and then she was like dangling behind the guards so they couldn't see her, and she just dropped down. How did she get out of that cave again? I'm gonna check again if Holly Black tells me how she gets out of the cave. No, when I get back to the tent. How did she get out of the cave again when the guards are in front? How did she do it? Because she dropped behind them to get in. How did she get out? So the ghost also tells her about like everything that happened, how they knew his true name and everything, and how he is so powerless because of that, because he trusted the wrong people. And Jude, you know what she tells him? Stop being dramatic. This girl is such a bitch. First, she calls her stepmom annoying for watching out for her because her best friend was poisoned. Now she's calling this dude dramatic because he was betrayed by everyone. That she can't relate to this, and she's like, stop being dramatic. You're being dramatic. Anyway, she gets back to the tent and her stepmom is awake and she's like, I know you're not your sister, you're Jude. And Jude is like, oh no, I'm such a good actress, how could you know? She's like, honestly, just think back about every single plan this girl has ever had. It has failed. Every plan this girl has ever tried to pursue failed. So obviously she's exposed, you know, and so her stepmom was like, yeah, I'll help you get out, and she sends a letter for her big sister to pick her up, and she's like, I'll come. Vivi is like, I'm gonna come and get you. Then Jude is awakened in the middle of the night by Karin and the Roach, who are there to help her, and they're like, oh my god, the 3 others are waiting outside. And for some reason Jude is like, the 3 others are waiting outside? So that must mean Vivi, Taryn, and Heather, the girlfriend that hates Fairy. She must have come. I really don't know how small this girl's brain is. Why would Heather come? What makes you think Heather will come? I have no idea. Obviously Heather didn't come. Then Jude's like, no, I'm not gonna come with you. I have to free the ghost. And then the Roach is like, no, you shouldn't do that. He betrayed us. And she's like, no, I'm gonna do it. I have to steal a key. And then Karin and the Roach are like, we're gonna help you. We're gonna help you. Why not? You know, we have nothing else to do. They try to steal the key, but there was a trap, and the Roach gets poisoned. So Karin gets him, you know, to go get the antidote, and Jude is on her own. She has the key. She goes back to the cave to free the ghost. And guess what? Her plan fails, because Maddox, he's waiting for her there. He knew she was gonna come. He knew she was Jude. Who would have thought that her plan would fail? It's never failed before. Literally everything has failed. Everything she ever tried to plan, and then people are like, oh my god, she's so good at scheming. She has such a big brain. Literally nothing she's ever tried to do worked out for her, honestly. I don't know why she's still trying. So Maddox is waiting for her. The ghost is gone, and he's like, yo, bitch, I know you're Jude and not Taryn. I'm gonna fight you. And then he tells us the ghost's name, and I don't know what I expected, but you know what it is? Where's the ghost? And then, I'm sorry, I don't know why I find this so funny. Then her dad goes, Garrett! His name is Garrett! Why Garrett? Like, that's the weirdest name. We have Maddox, we have Oriana, we have Taryn, and we have Garrett. And Jude is like, I'm not gonna fight you, I'm gonna run away. And she runs away, and then she's like, wait, I can't run away. He's so fast. He's so quick. I'm gonna attack him. Doesn't work out. She gets stabbed with a sword. So I don't really know if you can still say she got stabbed. I think she got sliced. She's bleeding out, and then her sisters turn up with the 3rd person, who is Grima Morg. I don't remember her name. I don't care. So Maddox is like, oh my god, I can't fight Grima Morg. Like, he doesn't know. Like, literally, Jude bet Grima Morg. So why wouldn't Maddox beat her? But whatever. I mean, this is a shitty-ass general if she was bet by Jude. Jude is bleeding out. Maddox runs away. I don't know why they didn't just kill him on the spot, honestly. Would have been they just let him run away. Why didn't you fucking kill him? I'm telling you, these people don't have brains. And then Jude is like, stuff my wound with earth. And stitch me up. And her sister just has a sewing kit with her, apparently. She came prepared. She was like, you know what? We're coming to get Jude out of here, so I gotta take my sewing kit, because what if I need to make a new set of gloves? I don't know. They stitch her up, and because she's the queen, the earth answers to her, and the magic answers to her, and she gets cured. I don't know, I just spoke cursive there. Kind of sexy, huh? And that's where I stopped reading, because I really, like, these people annoy me so much, because Jude annoys me the most. She's always making plans that won't work out. Like, the moment she makes a plan, it's like, okay, it's not gonna work. She wants to free the ghost, didn't work. She wanted to, I don't know what else she wanted to do in this book. She wanted to steal the key for the ghost, and her friend got poisoned immediately. I mean, she's almost dead at this point, you know. She just keeps getting herself into trouble. I don't think she's smart at all. Because, my lady, I will always be a challenge. What is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean? My distaste for this book is immeasurable. Jude fights her dad almost, and she gets almost killed. She gets sliced, right? And then she's like, oh my god, the ghost Garrett, he's out to kill Carden. I have to warn him. So she goes there and she writes a note. And she gets to Carden and she hides in the ballroom because for some reason there's a ball going on. There's a party like every other chapter. She's hiding with a weapon, and so obviously the people think that she's the person to assassinate him, because why wouldn't they? And yet again, Jude, the really great queen of assassins, is tricked. She's tricked. Her plan again didn't work out. She was tricked by her dad into believing that the ghost was gonna come for Carden so she would get in trouble. She's so dumb. This plan, she had the plan to go there to warn Carden to save him, and the guy wasn't even coming there. So the next plan she had, which was this one, it failed. Again, she never succeeds in anything. Carden is like, this is my wife, don't come for her. And she wakes up and Oak is there. And he tells her that Heather is there, you know, the girlfriend. And you know what Jude says? Really? For a moment, we share a significant look. I'd hoped Heather might get back together with Vivi, but I am stunned she was willing to make another trip to Alfheim. You try to tell me that Jude didn't just say, like 2 chapters ago, oh yeah, I think Taryn and Vivi and Heather came for me because Carden told her, oh, there's 3 people waiting for you outside to pick you up, you know, to save you from this camping trip. She literally thought, oh, it must be Heather. And now she's acting all surprised when she didn't. Like, you literally thought she was there already. Same page, Jude asked them, where are they? Like, they're not here, it's just Oak and my fucking servant. And then the servant says, at dinner with the High King. This one, meaning Oak, didn't want to go, so he had a tray sent up. She injects the words with a familiar disapproval. I am sure she thinks rejecting the honor of royal company is a sign that Oak is spoiled. I think it's a sign he's paying attention. I think it's a sign that this guy is 8 years old and he can't really comprehend anything that's going on and he just didn't want to go. He just wanted to play Uno, but you know, maybe that's just me. Talks to Carden and he tells her, you could have returned anytime you wanted. You're the queen. You could have, you know, pardoned yourself. And she's like, oh, just another dumb bitch moment for me. For some reason, she gets angry. Like, she's just mad all of a sudden. I feel furiously angry. And then, listen to this. I turn away from him and walk, swiftly and completely directionless, through the garden. I miss One Direction. He runs after me, grabbing my arm. I haul around and slap him. She just slaps him. For what? What was so uncalled for, girl? Why did you slap him? That's kind of abusive. Don't touch him. She slapped him because of her own stupidity, because she couldn't realize that she is the queen and can pardon herself. That's why she slapped him, because she's dumb. She's so stupid. This whole sequence felt so incredibly long because she wakes up from almost dying. Then there's like everyone calling for her. This person wants to talk to you. No, you have to go there. Oh no, Taryn wants to talk to you. Oh, Carden wants to talk to you. She's literally running from one place to the next, and in her mind she's like, I'm gonna act like the queen. I'm not gonna let these people command me. I'm not gonna come when they call for me. They have to come for me. But still, for the next 3-4 chapters, she's just running around, like going to everyone that's calling for her. That is not queen shit, girl. Then we get a character introduced, very unnecessarily. Fond. When we were at the palace school, we both dreamed of knighthood. It seems that one of us achieved it. Sir Fond, I correct myself, and she smiles. I grin back at her. Although we are not friends, we were friendly, and for me, in the high court, that was a rarity. Why are you introducing me this apparently nice character that Jude was friends with in the 3rd book? For what? Why are you introducing them now? I've never heard of them before. Really, like, tell me why. Also, apparently, Garrett's full name is Larkin Gorham Garrett, and that's like, really, that's the wackest name I've heard. I still don't understand the whole name thing, how people can command people by their name, because then, why is no one commanding, you know, Carden? Because it's never explained how exactly it works. So what if someone just said, oh, Carden Greenbrier, or whatever the fuck his name is, I command you. Why doesn't it work? Is it not his true name? What is a true name? Who does it work on? I have no idea because it's not explained. The magic system is a mystery to me. Anyway, as I said, nothing really happens. They just run from one ally to the next and they talk about, oh, Maddox wants to kill you, and then Jude is like, okay, let's fuck, and they do. This scene, though, was really anticlimactic. Like, it goes, everything is fast and hot, and I'm kind of in control and out of control at the same time. His face is wholly unguarded. When we are finished, he kisses me sweet and raw. So how was it? I can't tell you because she doesn't tell me how it was. I don't know if, you know, she liked it or not. Really weird how you put so much emphasis on the scene and then you don't tell me how she feels like after it's done. Anyway, maybe I'm just reading too much into this book, and it's like, this book is literally like a Wattpad story. She currently lives in New England with her husband and son, who probably is really embarrassed by this book. Honestly, I would be. In a house with a secret library. Why are you telling me about the secret library? Now it's not secret anymore. Literally nothing happens. Nothing is happening. There is no... This war, this big war apparently, is like brewing and they're getting their forces together. But I don't even know what kind of forces Elfheim has. Like what kind of soldiers. No numbers are being named. We don't have anyone preparing for any battle really. They're just talking about it, but they're not doing anything about it. And there's like 100 pages left in this book, so I don't know what this big ass war is going to be. Also, they had sex on the floor for no reason, and I think Holly Black realized after the scene was done, because she writes it, one of the last lines is, "We're still lying on the floor, although a perfectly good bed is right next to us." Maybe one of the editors pointed it out to her, like, they're still on the floor, like, why didn't you just have them have sex in bed? That's more comfortable. And she was like, no, I don't want to change it, I'm too lazy. And so she just added this one line so it made sense. Like, it showed us that Jude was aware that it was absolutely unnecessary to be on the floor. Karn also has yet to turn into a snake. He has not turned into a snake yet. I don't know if I misunderstood something, but I will be really, really disappointed if he doesn't. It has happened. 217 pages in, Karn is finally a snake. I've waited long enough for this moment, this very moment. And it's anticlimactic as fuck. Why did it take him so long? This book is so short, and like the last 50 pages he's like, you know what, I'm gonna break the crown and just be a snake for a day. I don't really know what to think about this. This is like kind of weird. Like, how big is the snake? Because it's not saying. Is it really big? Is it kind of small? My question is, does he still have his tail? Like, is he a snake with a tail? This is my fault, all my fault. How is it all her fault? Huh? He broke the crown himself. You couldn't do anything about it. He was just like, you know what? Cracked. Imagine they actually kill Karn and he's dead. That would be a turn of events, but obviously she's not gonna do that. Holly Black's not gonna do that. She doesn't have the means to be brave. I did it! I finished it! Woo! I'm so exhausted. Before Karn turns into the snake finally, there's this iconic thought process that Jude decided to share with us. She's thinking about the fact that Maddox wants to come and challenge Karn for a duel, and she can't let that happen, and she has to go to war. And so this is what she thinks. He comes from a line of warriors. His mother birthed him in battle, and he plans to die with a sword in his hand. Which I didn't know that. Also, that seems really fucking inconvenient. Like, imagine you're fighting, you're on a war, you're in war, on a battlefield, and you just pop a baby out. Also, why is a pregnant woman, like highly pregnant, 9 months pregnant, on a battlefield in the first place? But I don't think he plans to die that way today. I think he plans to win. Girl, no shit he plans to win. What the fuck? What did Holly Black think writing that? Like, obviously he wants to win. He's coming to die? Huh? Basically, Karn turns into the snake, right? Which is because he breaks the crown, and that's the curse that's in the crown. If it's broken, he turns into a snake. It's a serpent. I don't want to say serpent though, because I feel like it doesn't have the right ring to it. Snake sounds better. Jude then goes into running around two different people again. She never like has a moment for herself to think. She's always with other people, like conversing with them. She tells Taryn, hey, the throne is like shattered and the whole room is kind of, you know, not in the best condition. Could you do me a favor and like find me a new throne room? Just like decorate it and find me a chair I can sit in so I can be queen. And Taryn's like, yeah, I'll do that. Then talks to the astrologer And this conversation lasts maybe 5 minutes. And right when these 5 minutes are up, this conversation is over, she goes to Taryn. And this bitch has already found a whole ass room, moved all of the furniture out, decorated it a little, found a little throne. How fast is this girl? Of course, you know, they try to figure out how to save Carden from being a snake, because it's really convenient that he is one. Maddox has the greatest plan ever. He's like, here's this, like, I don't know, I kind of imagine it to look like, I think it's called a bridle or something, but I imagine it to look like those things you put on your dog. Put that on him and it binds the snake to you, so you can just rule as the queen of snakes or some shit like that, like, you know, so it's bound to her and he has to answer her commands because it's magic. But that's the plan originally, but Jude doesn't do that. Also, the siblings, so Jude, Taryn, Vivi, Oak, and also Heather, she's there. They have a conversation really randomly, like in the midst of all this, where they're talking about Taryn keeping Locke's child. I felt like it's good to know that we're pro-choice in this book, because they are. They're like, oh, you can just give it up for adoption or, you know, get an abortion. But it just felt really forced, because it, like, in my opinion, it didn't like find a good place to fit into the story. They should have talked about that like in the beginning when Taryn came to the mortal world and was like, I'm pregnant. They should have talked about it. I felt like that was more fitting, but at this point she's like, what, at least 3 months pregnant, like out of the middle of nowhere. Like, Carden is a fucking serpent, they need to find a way to fix it, and then it's like, oh, you know what, we haven't talked about you being pregnant yet. I felt like there were so many storylines going on the side that were also unnecessarily introduced, because if there's not a continuation of this like story, why is Taryn pregnant in the first place? What place does her pregnancy take in the story? It has no reason to be there, because she, like, it doesn't complicate anything. Leave the pregnancy out and nothing changes. So I just felt like a lot of things were put in there to add more depth to the characters, but it was just too much, because she never really explored those areas. She tried with this abortion talk, but it just didn't fit in the story. It was just random. Roach got poisoned earlier, like 100 pages ago, and we're now thinking about him again, and just now we're like, oh, maybe Jude can heal him, because apparently she has magical powers because she's queen. There was no reason other than to take this person out of the story so she didn't have to write about him for him to be poisoned. There was no reason for him to be poisoned. When he comes back from being poisoned, when he's healed by Jude because she's now magical, literally he doesn't do anything. He didn't do anything before and he doesn't do anything after. It was unnecessary. Like, it also bothers me so much that Jude has magical powers. I just felt like the vibe of the story was she's this mortal girl that doesn't fit into their world, and just because of her sheer will and her training herself to be better, she's like risen in ranks and she's now queen, and it's all due to her just, you know, hard work. And now all of a sudden she has magical powers. Those magical powers are also never explored. They're literally just a plot device to heal her and the Roach. She never considers using those powers for anything else. She never tries. She never questions it. She just goes with it. That is what bothered me so much in this whole series. So many things are put in there and never explained. Just wants me to go with it. Like, okay, she has magic. I don't need anything. I don't need anything more from her. She doesn't need to do anything with them. She just has them. She's a queen. Go off, sis. We have some more conversation. There was so much dialogue in this book, and I love dialogue, but it was a lot. Basically, instead of putting this dog thing on Carden to bind him, she slays the snake's head off for some reason, and then Carden steps out of it. He's like, hey, I'm back, and everyone's like, yay, and he's naked. So maybe that's why they were excited. I love that for Jude, that she could just slay the head and, you know, he was there inside of the snake and she saved him. I never got the thought process behind that. I never got her like thinking, oh my god, but what does this mean? Could I rule alone? Actually, I think she does that, but she never thinks in this thought process, I'm gonna slay his head and just see what happens. I think Holly Black wanted me to believe that Jude was really badass and really like, just like giving it all up for Carden, risking it all, slaying the serpent, and seeing if the curse is gonna break, if he's gonna turn into a human again. And she's been, you know, she's just so badass, and you can't, how do you say it in English? Unberechenbar? I think it just didn't work. It reminded me of Aelin from Throne of Glass, where she would have plans and not tell the reader about them until after they happened. For the most part, it worked out for Aelin though, because she literally was an assassin and she did this like all the time, and you would be able to read from other characters' perspectives because it's not first person in Throne of Glass, it's actually a third person, so it made more sense in that context. It still wasn't the best. Sometimes I was like, what the fuck is going on? But this, it just didn't sit right with me. The last thing that I have marked in this book, which yes, I dog ear my pages. What are you gonna do about it? Everything is over. Jude has succeeded. Carden is back. Everyone has to bow to her. Everyone loves her now. She's the new queen. Maddox is in chains. He's actually exiled to the mortal world, which I would have killed him, but maybe she's not as reckless as she tries to be. She is getting ready for her coronation, or for something. She's just getting ready after battle. But she didn't fight a single person. She just knocked the snake's head off. She's thinking to herself, for many long days I have been terrified, and now when I ought to be feeling great, what I want to do is hide under a table in the bra, which I don't know what a bra is, with Carden, until I can finally convince myself he's alright. And maybe make out with his face, if he's feeling up to that. What the fuck? Make out with his face? Very weird lines in this book, honestly. I thought he was gonna be a snake for longer. I was really disappointed. He was only a snake for 3 days and he didn't really do anything when he was a snake. He didn't wreak havoc on anything. Like, apparently the ground turned black when he slithered over it because he poisoned the ground. That is never resolved. This whole series was a mess in my opinion. It was short and sweet while it lasted, not really. Still, it wasn't that bad because obviously I didn't like it. Like, I think it's flawed, and I still managed to read all 3 books. I did enjoy reading it for the entertainment purpose of just like reading Jude being a dumbass and like getting mad at Jude. There were just, as I mentioned, so many storylines going on at once that just felt so forced. I felt like maybe because the books are so short, 200 to 300 pages, there wasn't enough time to really develop enough. I felt like there wasn't much context to work with. The magic system isn't really explained ever. I had to guess most of the time what was going on. I still don't know how it works. I still don't know what fairy magic can do exactly. I really don't fucking know. Jude and Carden have like, I don't know, 4 scenes together and everyone is thirsting over them. I don't get it. I don't get it. Jude's plans always failed, and you have to realize that. You have to realize that Jude isn't that badass assassin that she wants to be because she never really succeeded. I mean, she is queen in the end, but that's for plot convenience. She is the main character. Like, did you really think she was not going to end up with Carden on the throne? I would recommend them if you feel like reading a fantasy, high fantasy series that's really short, characters are really dense, and you don't want to think much when you're reading it. That's like, then the series is perfect for you. Overall, I'm going to rate the whole series a 2 out of 5. First, Carden's tale gets 1 star from me because, you know, great detail that was absolutely unnecessary, but it makes him interesting. And then the 2nd star is just because I don't want to be mean. Maybe I'm secretly a stan if I really did make it through the whole series. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. If you've made it this far, then congratulations. Please don't be mad at me if this is your favorite series. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, and if this is your favorite series, then that's good for you. If you find joy in it, then I'm happy for you. Other than that, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!